So, who knows what this is? Everybody know what this is? It's a bullfrog, African Pyxi Bullfrog, and well, it's actually a girl, but I can't tell my son because it's his buddy. Thinks it's a boy. I have 5 girls and 1 boy, so when you tell my son that some of the other animals are girls, he goes, "No, Dad, those are my brothers." You know, so so this the way you can tell, it's very easy to sex this kind of bullfrog. The girls have a very whitish to beige chin, and the boys have a bright yellow chin. Now, growing up, we were taught the opposite. Girls, more of a bright yellow is more of a girl color. So we always thought the girls had the bright yellow throat. And then I read a book, and I said to my brother who taught me that, I said, "Jack, this says the boys have the yellow throats." And he's like, "Really? That doesn't make sense." But, you know, boys can like yellow too, right? So Chad likes yellow, I think. So, so the African Pyxi Bullfrog is an amazing animal. It's listed as the 2nd largest frog in the world. But I don't know. I've caught North American bullfrogs. You guys ever catch some really big bullfrogs? I've caught bullfrogs bigger than this. You guys catch them bigger than this? Maybe not fatter, but definitely a lot longer, and certainly can out-jump them. You know, you wouldn't want this in a jumping contest, right? But they can weigh as much as 2 pounds. I haven't weighed this one in a while. This eats 1 large mouse about once a week. If it's showing signs of hunger, it lives in an exhibit with a water bowl and moss and everything. When it's hungry, it always jumps in the water bowl. So whenever I see him in the water bowl, we'll wiggle a frozen, nice and warm it up, obviously, mouse in front of him, and he'll swallow that. He's eaten even medium rats before, swallowed medium rats. And the females will lay about 4,000 eggs at a time. So as far as an endangered species, no, not when you're having 4,000 kids at a time. They're threats. Where do you find them? In the African savannas, and they've even been reported in some severe desert-type habitats. I haven't seen that myself, but I have been told by people that they're found there. There's reports, just like the Australian frog, that those guys will go underground and stay in the ground for a year or even more. They make the cocoon around themselves, and they wait for the rain to penetrate the grounds. And when the rain comes down and hits them, then they come out, they eat the cocoon because it's like a vitamin pill. I have seen video that was shot in Africa by a friend of mine of, I don't know, they say maybe 50 to 100,000 frogs all bubbling up out of the ground. Look like something from a horror movie. And then I was watching, I'm like, what's the first thing they're going to eat? And I'm like, oh, one another, So, so first they're like, we're really hungry, and I really don't know you, and I'm going to eat you. And then after that, they'll eat anything that moves, snakes, small birds. They'll eat spiders, rodents, lizards, pretty much anything at all. But one of the most remarkable video and still pictures that I've ever seen in my life was of a male African Pyxi Bullfrog, and there was a puddle of tadpoles. Someone told me they saw it in a reptile and amphibian book, so you might be able to find this in a book. And the puddle was drying up, and the male was in a bigger pond. And he actually, they don't have claws, took his front legs and made a trench from the big pond to the tadpoles, and they all flushed in, and he saved them because it was dry. So that was pretty cool, because I figured, okay, he's going to go over, he's going to eat them all, right? But no, he went over there, he burrowed over, and they all flowed into the pond, and I don't know how long they lived, if the whole thing dried up or what, but that was a pretty cool thing. That was probably the most amazing thing I've seen. For defenses, they do puff up even bigger than this, and they can scream. Sometimes when you pick them up, they'll scream. He's pretty good if I hold him like this. If my son tries to pick him up, he's got the little 3-year-old hands, and he squishes them in both sides, and sometimes he'll scream, and everybody knows amphibians love to pee, right? So my son Joshua, he's 3, he goes, "Dad, why would an animal not eat him just because they peed on his hands?" And I said, "It doesn't bother you when he pees on your hands because you're a gross little kid, because I'm raising you that way, right?" I said, but think about it. A predator is going to try to bite him and eat him. So the frog's like, man, I ain't outrunning this guy. They can turn around. I actually seen one jump up and almost spin in the air, land, and then squirt a significant amount of pee in the animal's face. So I said, "Josh, this animal don't pee in his hand. He pees in his face." And he's like, "So?" Because he's 3, right? But for most animals, they get pee, a big stream. It's not like a little squirt gun. It's like a thick stream of pee in your eyes and your mouth, and the animal's got to be, wait a minute, eyes should burn a little bit. Maybe the pee doesn't taste that good. I don't know.